Welcome, 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 everybody. Welcome to another edition, another episode, another fun time over here at Comic Roddery. We are so pleased to have all you guys with us. Welcome our Spotify audience, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Pandora, Amazon Music, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. We're all kind of places, and we're happy to have you guys with us this afternoon. And we're going to have a fun show. It's going to be probably a quick show, but still, nevertheless, it's still going to be fun. Kind of run through what our lineup is for this afternoon with you guys. We're going to have on the man of the hour is going to be right here, Mr. Morgan Quaid, and he's going to give us an update on what's going on with Shadow's Daughter and kind of show us where we're at in the campaign with it and how much we got left to go and some of the cool, fun things you can get that you do not want to miss out on. So we'll be talking about that. Make sure you reach back to last week's episode, which was Scott Zillner. That was a real fun episode. Got to talk toys, got to see some really cool toys that he's designed over the years. I know you've seen his work. When you see some of the stuff we talk about, you go, wow, he's done a lot. And yeah, he has. He's done a marvelous job in the land of comics and in the land of toys as well, because he's been in some comics too. So there's all kind of stuff that Scott's been all over the place with. He's been in TV show, been in movies. So he's acted, done all kind of stuff. And again, you'll see the toys that he's done and you'll just be blown away. Some of them you can still pick up out there. And he's got new ones coming out all the time. So you want to make sure you check that out. And then you're going to want to check out next week's show. It's because Mr. Austin Jenowitz is going to be with us. He's going to be talking about Stanley the Snowman and how that came about. Issue 2 is fixing to hit Kickstarter. Make sure you look for that March the 8th. And then right after that, the next week, we're going to be talking to Christian Basil, and we're going to be talking about Doctor Who and all the fun things that have to do with the Traveling TARDIS, his podcast show. And then we're going to round out March with, again, jumping back to Australia and talking with Shane Timon. And he's going to be talking about his new comic that's coming out called Origins. So just a jam-packed month already for March. And then you'll also see a lot of stuff about the 75th crowdfunder. Okay, so you'll see the countdown to 75. You'll see a lot of stuff about that the next coming weeks. So make sure you tune in for that and see all the goodies that are out there. And we're going to, again, be talking tonight to Mr. Morgan Quaid. So without further ado, I will jump on and get a couple things out of the way as far as, and apologize for the beard and the non-shaving. I hurt my back in a very bad way the last few days and can hardly move. So you'll see me sitting on one hip then the other. It's no fun at all, let me tell you. I do want to start off announcements with welcoming a couple people to the Inked family. That's going to start off with, I want to welcome again Austin Jenowitz with Stanley the Snowman. He's joined the Inked family, and we're so proud to have him and so honored to be able to do work with the Kickstarter with him. And then next is going to be, I want to announce that Hocus Pocus Comics has also joined the Inked family, and they're going to be releasing a book called The Imaginary Voyages of Edgar Allan Poe, and that's Dwight McPherson is going to be releasing that book. And man, the art in this thing is just jam up. It's the third book in the series, so you'll of course be able to get the other two books to lead up to it. But again, check out Hocus Pocus Comics and see that what all they have to offer. Again, they do a lot of stuff in the classroom, which is awesome. So you're going to make sure you tune into that. And we're going to talk about some of the launch stuff a little bit later in the show. So we'll keep the previews as the post views. So without further ado, let's jump down to Australia for a second. There we go.
G'day. How you going,
Kevin? On the other side of the pond, as we say.
Yeah, that's it. It has been a pond, actually. It's been a flooded pond for the last couple of weeks. Yeah.
Man, yeah, I've been paying attention to that. That's been crazy. It's and the other thing too, which is I always find crazy when we get with you guys, is the fact that it is tomorrow over there. So it is. It's tomorrow morning. So if you just let me know if tomorrow's a bad day, I won't even get out of bed. I'll just stay where I'm at and just
It's pretty good. It's not raining, so down here at the moment, that's a good day.
That's a plus, yeah.
Yeah, blue skies, not raining. Well, where I am at the moment, anyway. There's still a lot of rivers where there's issues and that sort of stuff. But
man, you guys have gotten just beat down this with the fires and now the flood and then
fires, COVID, flood, just one after the other.
If you see locusts, I think I'd just tap out. That'd be it. I would just,
well,
that's the end of it.
The water's definitely water. I checked. It's not blood. So
well,
we're okay.
that's a plus. That's a
we're
plus.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing to hear all the different things happening all over as far as, mass destruction of things. And, I think the earth after a while kind of gets tired of us on it, and it kind of wants to shake us off like fleas. Yeah. We'll try to, it's like, I don't need them anymore. Kind of scratch behind the ear and knock us right off. But
it feels a bit like that. Yeah.
It feels like it. Let's, hey, Mike's with us now, so we can bring him in. And the bottom square today,
Bottom square.
Bottom square.
Did you find them?
What was I looking for?
I was asking Morgan.
Oh. What did I find? Oh, the movie, the film. Yeah. See, I forget what I do. I'm doing so much stuff, I forget, man. I found them.
The forgetful
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
first feature film too. It was a big production, a lot of effort, a lot of years, a lot of time. I'd like to thank the actor, the producer, the writer, the director.
Oh man,
it's great.
That would kill microphone.
You know what we're gonna have to do though? If you want to share your screen real quick, if you want to play that for everybody, that would be awesome, because I was in tears when I saw it. So it's a tearjerker, people. Get ready.
Let me go to my updates and find it as we talk.
Well, while you're digging for it, I can show a couple things real quick. That it was my birthday recently, and it was my wife did excellent. I'm gonna move this out the way real quick, and you can still hear me. It might be a little shadowy, but let me just move this over. Okay. First, we have everybody needs a flux capacitor in their life.
Nice.
So I'm going to definitely install that, in the Nova when it gets here. That is going to be a lot of fun, but that's going to be just a fun gag to do. And when I tell people a lot of times that we're in comics, we are definitely in comics. And I want to show this just came in. This is kind of some openers real quick. This is Roadkill Rampage #2.
Nice.
And if you go in it, let's see what page it's on.
Heard that one had a lot of funny looking faces in it.
It's got some funny faces. Compare those funny faces. That's right. If you see, there's me, and then over here is my high school buddy Ron, and we are actually in the background as part of the biker gang to the main villain that's right in the center there. So that's a lot of fun. I was pretty psyched that happened. So again, thank you to Hasm for letting us in your book, and a couple more books coming out that I'll be have death scenes in. So my first death scene, yay! I'm so psyched. I'll die in a comic, and I'll be immortalized forever in a comic. So those couple things are out there, and just want to show that. Last but not least, well, I got a couple more. I'll save the other ones for towards the tail end of the show. But since again with the beard, I've been accused by my wife a time or two by looking like Opie, so I got her the signed Opie for just as a surprise gift. So yeah, she's in the collecting too. So we met him in Atlanta, and it was so funny. He's a big dude. I mean, I'm 6'4", and I was like looking up to him. I was looking about chest level. So did you come across that?
Got it. Ready?
Yep. You just share over, and I can pick it up when it pops up. You have to share your screen with us.
All right.
It didn't come up yet.
Here we go.
There we go.
Ready?
We're gonna Brady Bunch over to the side real quick and go for it.
All right, here we go. World premiere, people. World premiere.
Yes. You heard it here first.
The demon moon rises like a blood orange in the sky above Brisbane, Australia. Arthdanes flee to their walled enclaves, while green-winged creatures pour into the city from their underground halls. One man must brave the night in search of a vital artifact on whose recovery the fate of the world now rests.
There it is.
That's a Academy Award winning stuff right there, man. That's the part 2 follow up with that is probably me today. I can't find my wallet. I have looked all over the house and I have no idea where it's at. But I did find my keys. I just did not find my wallet. So
well, that's ruined the sequel then, because that was exactly what it was going to be.
Oh, that's what it's
right.
That's
We'll,
all right. Okay.
I'll think of something else. There's plenty of things you can lose. Plenty of things.
Oh man. Well, let's talk about Shadow's daughter, man. Let's get some updates. One thing, we'll make the announcement real quick. I'll go ahead and throw the slide up, and you can go ahead and talk about it real quick. This is a big announcement for Shadow's daughter and for Mr. Quaid himself.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So the whole Shadow's Daughter franchise, or whatever you want to call it, has been signed to Marcosia. They're a UK-based publisher. So after the campaign is finished, all the Shadow's Daughter books will be available worldwide and to be available to be printed and purchased anywhere in the world, pretty much. Which is really, really good. It also means that the Kickstarter versions, the Super Serious Comics versions, which are my label, they will be a lot rarer because they're obviously going to be slightly different to these versions, which are mass produced. So everyone in the campaign gets this U-Butte special Super Serious Comics versions, which have the extra stuff in the back, and obviously the Super Serious logo and lots of stuff. But it's really good because it also means there's some longevity to the series, and I'm really looking forward to, over the next couple of years, the book starting to get out there and get around the place. So it's good news, super good news.
Well, congratulations on that, man. It's awesome to see it get picked up like that, and again, like you said, give some longevity to the book, and we'll be checking that out.
Netflix will be calling soon.
I think.
Come on, Netflix. Where are you?
Netflix has to pick up that the Keys version. That's got to. That's definitely it's definitely set up to be a sequel. I give it that.
It's the Keys one is a side issue spin-off. It's so unrelated. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Did you notice my wonky pronunciation of Brisbane as well? That was just no one calls it Brisbane. Not even you guys, I don't think, call it Brisbane.
No, we don't.
I just thought it was funny.
We know better.
We get Brisbane.
Brisbane. Some
Yeah.
Brisbane. Let's go
Nice
over to
and
Brisbane.
Okay.
Or
Brizzy.
Brizzy. Does either one even, does Melbourne have a nickname? Do you nickname your cities over there or no?
Brizzy's got Bris Vegas. I don't know why.
Is it the
Sydney? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't. Maybe they do, and I'm just not being very Australian. But yeah, I can't think of that many nicknames. We stick an O on the end of everything for names.
Uh-huh.
So you would be Kevo.
Uh-huh.
Maiko, I don't think we do, because it just doesn't work.
You gotta say Polo after it.
Maiko
Polo.
Is it at least more masculine than my Italian counterpart,
What's that?
which is Michelle?
Oh yeah, that's also French as well, Michel. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
But yeah, no, we just flatten everything and whack an O on the end of it occasionally, and
So
that's
I would
it.
just be Mike.
Yeah, you'd be Mike, or you'd be mate, or you would get some sort of nickname within the first 5 minutes of working in a group, whatever it is.
Chuckles. What's up, Chuckles?
Probably the first thing you ate, whatever Australian thing you ate, it would be,
Hey, Nacho
snack.
Man, come here.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. It'd just be Nacho. Hey,
Yeah.
Nacho.
Oh, that's it. We're officially changing his nickname on the show to Nacho.
Nacho.
Nacho Mike.
Nacho Mike. There
I
you
like
go.
it.
That's
I like it.
awesome. That's awesome. Well, cue us in. Let's talk campaign, man. Where you at? Where we headed? What's some of the cool new things maybe that are around the corner?
And who won a T-shirt? So I can go be.
Yeah.
There you go. Do the announcement. Yeah.
All right. So I have, as of now, picked the two winners at random. I haven't announced them yet, but I'll announce them here. So the first one, I don't know their first name, but that's probably good. So they probably don't mind me saying it on air. Dragon Strider has won the first of the t-shirts. So I'll be getting in contact with the Dragon Strider, not Slider. That sounds like someone that's eating small dragon burgers. The second winner, because there were two ways to win. The second way was sharing posts and that sort of thing. The second winner is Mike.
Is Nacho.
Yeah. So Nacho gets a t-shirt.
Can't wait.
Cool.
I'm gonna
gotta-
support on the show.
You got to go ahead and print Nacho above the name thing right there before you mail it out.
I can do that.
Nacho Mike.
Exactly.
That'll be my
Yes. So congrats, man. I'll send out a link to the store, and you basically pick what you want, and then I'll get it shipped out to you.
In the book, Nacho Mike, where I like carry around a tray of mystical nachos. That could be like a Gambit version.
Yeah.
Nachos.
Yeah, there you go. It could be like a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but it could be like,
My cheese could be like her shade.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So without giving too much away, there is a short story within the larger set of stories about a particular superhero type figure. It's a bit of a comic figure, as in comedian, who fights crime with the power of dairy. I kid you not. He's called the Dairy Avenger. He's not really to be taken seriously, but he is in there, and he has the same sort of power that she has over Shadow over certain dairy, but only certain dairy.
So his evil counterpoint lactose is his evil foe.
His arch nemesis.
Yes.
He uses. So I'll tell you now, because it's just funny. And everyone that backs the campaign will obviously see it. It's at the end of one of the books. It's only yogurt, so he can bend yogurt to his will and use it as a weapon and all this stuff. But it's only yogurt, and he does quite well. Like he does actually fight bad dudes and all this sort of stuff with yogurt. But the critical thing is, it's just yogurt. That's it.
Yeah.
That's his gift. Like, it's ridiculous. So anyway, it's really good fun. But yeah, the nacho thing reminded me of that straight away, and I thought that's
nice.
Right in there. Yeah,
I smell a crossover. I smell a Nacho Man with teaming up with the
Dairy Avenger.
the Dairy Avenger.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
It's just that's too much.
It's like a callback to Condiment Man in DC.
Yeah.
Which is a villain I will never understand they made.
There's a few. Polka Dot Man.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. Let's get real with some of this stuff.
They talked. There's whispers about doing a Polka Dot Man spinoff.
Wow!
Don't even. I saw that figure the other day in the store, and I just couldn't. I was like, I just can't. I can't bring myself to do it.
Someone really liked the game Twister when it came out. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Here's a couple things when we talk about Shadow and someone being able to bend Shadow. This is some of the shots you see out there, some of the ads, and I think that this is one of my favorite pieces in the whole book is when she has that Shadow just come out and around, and kind of, and between that shot, it's a toss up between that one and this one where she basically smacks the lips right off of him. You can feel the pain right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the whole thing. She's got mucho power, and she's not afraid to use it.
No,
she
doesn't suffer people lightly.
She stands off. I mean, she's nose to nose. I mean, she didn't back up. So this is for the listening audience who hadn't known yet. This campaign is one of the projects we love from Kickstarter. So really excited about that and happy about that that happened. So let's go ahead and play. For those of you who have not seen it. I've got one of them loaded. I can play real quick, and this is going to be the one of the trailers that's out there for Shadow's Daughter. Now I know that I know that you do frequent the guitar. So, and you have played on many other things. Is that your guitar riff in this one?
That one is not mine. That's a session guitarist that I got to do some other stuff that I was producing with from memory. Yeah. So that one's not mine, but I'll take credit for it.
Yeah. We'll play some other ones tonight that he's, we'll show off some of Morgan's licks and some of the other stuff he's done.
Yeah.
But you could have pulled that off. I don't have no doubt that you could have pulled that off. That's why I could have thought I could have sworn it was you, but.
Yeah, it's one of those things that if I've got it lying around and it's easy, I'll use that instead of doing it myself, because the guitars are all the way over there and it's so far.
It's so far. That's
whereas the computer's right here, so I can just use what I've got. It's laziness essentially.
Work. Smarter, not harder, right? That's how
that's right. It's efficiency. It's all about efficiency.
You are correct. Well, let's go ahead and jump over to, if you want to load your screen up. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. Mike, do you feel like driving, or you want to pull it up real quick? And then he can kind of narrate as we go.
Yeah.
So we'll give Morgan some, since he brought it up a while ago. We'll swap out here, and then we'll just kind of walk through the campaign and tell people what they can win.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot there now. It's a big campaign.
As of today, I think, right?
Did it hit the 110? I know it was at 109 last time I looked.
111.
111, awesome.
So we hit it. So Amerikaiju first 3 issues are coming out to the people. Yeah,
nice.
Really cool.
How many PDFs is that bringing up to now? I mean, it's a stack.
So in addition to the 6 issues on offer, there's 2 additional Shadow's Daughter ones. If you got in early enough, there was the Sword and Sorrows one, if you got an early bird special. And now there's the 3 Amerikaiju ones. And the next one if we get to 125, the next cab off the rank is produced, written, drawn, everything by me. It's a terrible comic. It's it's called The Wrath of Rudolph. We'll get to it in a tick, but yeah, it's on the way.
Nice.
So,
so there's a dozen or so comics you guys can get, right? So you could get on the ball and get on this campaign if you're not on it already.
And that's not including the 3, 4, 5, 6 that are on offer as additional, other projects that I've worked on as well. So yeah, there's a bunch. More than you can poke a stick at, as they say.
There you go.
500 plus pages.
That's right. There's a lot of pages there.
So 11 days to go, and fixing to tip over the 5,000 mark in US, and then 111 backers. So which is zoomed right past the previous record of 79, I believe.
78. I think 78, 79. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, so it's good. I was hoping to hit the 100, and we hit the 100, and then we smashed the 100 and just kept going straight through, which is
there you go.
Great. It's exactly what we want to do.
Don't worry about that.
And the cool thing, you guys, again, even though this comic is from Australia, we do want to remind everybody that it's going to be printed in the US and in Australia. That way you're not going to have to offer up a kidney to get your books. So,
yeah, that was a big one. And that's I'm trying to spread the word to as many Aussie creators as possible, because it's so hard if you don't have that arrangement. You just can't.
It's just the only way to go.
Yeah.
It helps the end customer, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. And it's
yeah. And most creators just want to get their stuff in the hands of people, get it there safe, get it there quick. And the only way to do that is to have a separate printer. So there's a little bit in there about the story. For those that don't know, it's pretty simple. So a demon moon rises, and it kind of causes chaos within this alternate version of the world, which then brings out a lot of, vampires, werewolves, those sorts of things, a lot of latent abilities, preternatural abilities within people. And one of those people is this bounty hunter named Summer Rain. Sorry, I couldn't think of my own main character's name. And she's a bounty hunter that works for the Bureau of Preternatural Investigation. Her whole job is to go and find remade dudes that have done the wrong thing and bring them in. And she's all about pish cash and all that sort of stuff. And the larger story is about her struggle with what happens when her incredible power is taken away, and how does she cope with that. And then there's hints at the larger family story in play, hence the apostrophe in Shadow's Daughter. Yeah, so that's a rundown. But there's heaps of info on there. By all means, pop in and have a look. There's a few early bird offers ready for people that have backed the previous campaign. They're all gone now for the standard ones, but that's all good. You snooze, you lose. That's what happens. 6 issues on offer. So 2 color issues, which are the main story, and they're all 40 pages plus. And then 4 black and white issues in a manga sort of style, westernized manga style.
And I gotta say, I definitely give Morgan credit for taking lemons and making lemonade out of it, because what happened to him was, with the whole paper issue shortage and all that kind of stuff getting printing, he had started off, it was going to be a 4-book offering. And then with that extra time, he came up with 2 more books and turned it into the 6-pack. So, that's a way to turn things around right there.
And it turned out being a great, lemons out of lemonade. Yep. No, the other way around. Lemonade out of lemons.
There you go.
Make them.
Okay, I will have to apologize right now, listening audience, because I am chewing on more muscle relaxers than Elvis Presley at this point. So if I slip a word or flip something around, by all means, it is not on purpose. I'm in a hell of a lot of pain. So we will press on with this. Oh.
If you start drooling or blood starts coming out of your eyes.
Yeah. And so when you see me, I'm sitting on one hip and then the other. And I'll go into that little mini saga after we run through the campaign. But just a ton of great artists in these books too. I mean, I love all the different styles that are in there.
Yeah. Bunch of different artists, and I love the black and white kind of. It's just a different, entirely different experience. Yeah. So here's some of the covers, standard covers, as well as a couple of variants that are all fully unlocked. So all of these covers are available now. It's the standard one for issue 1. That's the standard for issue 2. Pardon me. And these are all the standard issues for the spin-off novels, and they all have that kind of similar sort of awesome vibe.
And again, people, these are the serious, the serious comics versions, so super serious. So you want to make sure you get your super serious version before the other ones come out.
Right? Yeah, that's right, because these are only going to be available on the Kickstarter.
When these go to Netflix, these will be more expensive.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. These are kind of, so that's an alternate cover for issue 2, which is pretty awesome. It's by an artist named Moses May. Really, really cool. Love that image. And this is by an Aussie artist named Daniel Reed. Great cover, really menacing. That's one of the characters that appears in issue 2.
I've got to say that cover is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
It's a tight race on all of them, but that one's edges out them by a little bit. And what is
Damien when I see this?
Hey, what was that?
Remind me of the villain's name that is crept up behind her. What's the
that is Telos.
There you go. Telos. The one that has the ink in his veins.
Yeah, he's got one heart that pumps blood, one heart that pumps ink, 4 hands, and he's a creepy kind of underworld figure. And that's by far the best drawing I've seen of him. So that was amazing to see. It's also available as a virgin cover, that one. Actually, both of those variants are available as virgins, because that's one of the ones that you don't want to spoil it with text. You just want the,
yeah. Cool. And then these are the ones you found. These were the ones that you're like, oh, look what I got.
These ones. Yes. I forgot that I printed them for the first issue, first campaign ages ago now. And I had them sitting here. So halfway when the campaign started, I realized, I've got these here. So the first 50 print backers get the option to get that one as well, which is a really awesome cover by Adam Kmielek, great artist. There's some of the cool characters that pop up throughout. It's only, it's not even half the characters that are in there, but it's some of the main
Minky's, you got to explain Minky for a second, because he's got to be buff. He's probably my runner-up favorite character. He is a kind of a B actor, but go ahead and kind of let the audience know what his role in all this is.
So Minky is a tinkerer. So he lives with all of the remade people in the Undercity, which is kind of underneath the normal city. So he's around, ethermancers and bloodmancers and vampires and worgen and all these sorts of weird, wonderful people and creatures. But he's just a normal guy of kind of Slavic origin, but no one's really sure. His accent could be anywhere in kind of Eastern Europe, and it's not really clear exactly. He's a big bear of a man, big bushy mustache, obviously, fairly, large and larger than life. And what he does is anyone that has these kind of etheric abilities or magical abilities, or sorcery or whatever you want to call it, they tend to have trouble with electronic gear. So phones, TVs, all that sort of stuff, they tend to just break. So he modifies them so that they will work for this community. So he's really well known. People like his stuff. He also has a sort of a father relationship to Summer. She doesn't know her real father. He's kind of a de facto father and a friend, and he's one of the only people that she will put up with. He hugs her incessantly, dotes over her, all of that sort of stuff. She won't let anyone else even get close to her, but, Minky obviously gets away with it. What she doesn't know, and you find out as things go along, is that he's also kind of a weapons dealer under the table. And as part of the things he tinkers with, weapons are one of those. And that kind of comes out later in the story as well. So, but he's a really cool character and just fun and, always a happy counterpart to the sort of darker things that go on.
He's always got I'm going to load this up here for a second. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'm going to play just a snippet of it, because when these characters come to life and you hear the voice behind them and you see what they can do, it just adds so much more to what's going on. And then you can't get out of your head. But this should pop over the top real quick.
Hello, I am Minky, owner of Wicker Brand Painting. I come to tell you about exciting new print copy of Shadow Daughter adventure comic book. Many pages of excitement and action, and also me in it too. It is a story about a summer child who has...
That's just great when she just, he explains the book and he goes through things, and then he'll pop in from time to time and give updates on, backer goals that were smashed or, new things coming out. But yeah, be on the lookout for Minky to make a guest appearance at a Facebook page near you.
Yeah. He's great fun. He's really, really good fun. And like I said, he's just, I've never met anyone that doesn't like him. Immediately, people are drawn to that character and they just love him. And in fact, an artist friend of mine, Spedsy, who has done some art for this project, he was telling us a little while ago, he went to school with a guy whose nickname was Minky, which is weird. I wouldn't have thought that someone had that nickname, but there you go, they do. He's pretty cool.
I like Suling.
Yeah, Suling's cool. So Suling and her brother Chen they both operate kind of corner shops, fast food restaurants that also sell, those kind of, they sell condiments and other things as well. They sell anything will sell, but it's really a front for the entryway into this undercity kind of area. And their own little, because they're basically twins, like one's male, one's female. Obviously, they look, older kind of, people. But that is a facade because they're actually not human at all. They're other beings that sort of guard these gateways. And they have a price that you have to pay when you go one way or the other, sort of thing, which is really, really interesting. And they're also just nice and fun because there's so much beneath the surface, but you don't see any of that. You just see this quirky little person, sort of, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, good old Suling.
Yeah, she's a feisty short person.
Yeah,
she is. Well, there's some sample pages from issue 1, and there's Minky giving his, like I said, the trademark bear hug. So issue 1 and 2 are full color, and that's sort of one continuous story. There's the Telos character.
I love the color palette in this.
Yeah, it's really nice.
But the black and white, again, like you said, stands up just as well. It's like anything else, even when you're doing design work, if it's got to work in black and white before you add color to it. So the black and whites definitely work. Yeah,
and I like the because the black and white stories are early history stories from Summer's career. So it's kind of good because it's like you're looking back into a black and white memory of what happened. And there's some cool characters that pop up. Like that dude's the Bloodmancer wearing his fancy pants coat. He's really cool. Kind of the crazed, whatever he's eating or drinking has caused issues with his brain chemistry, and he's going to take over the world using parasitic worm creatures, essentially. So,
Nice.
yeah, very, very weird.
If
That he fires out of that gun.
If there's a way to do it, that I think that would get it done.
Yeah, it's one way. This is another one. So this is kind of a horror house, haunted house style vibe.
Mhm.
Hence so she's in this haunted house looking for Minky, and within 5 minutes, one of the paintings, the heads comes out of the wall and talks to her. So her response is to cut the head in half, because she's not having that. And then someone, feature from a mirror starts talking to her, and so she just smashes the mirror. It's kind of shoot first, ask questions later. With
Exactly.
She doesn't like creepy.
No.
Yeah.
And also, if you're trying to make her afraid, why would you do that? That's just silly. She's the one that makes people afraid, not the other way around. This one's really cool. There's a couple of issues that deal with this group called the Lunar Eye, which is a mysterious group, and no one's quite sure what they're about. They obviously have a lot of money. They have agents, around the place, and they get involved with Summer's life, which she does not like. But there's a larger sort of plot going on there, and obviously Luna, because of the reference to the demon moon that keeps popping up and causing issues. Yeah, and she goes hard.
Yeah,
she's shadow. Wow.
Yeah, she didn't give anybody much room as far as that goes.
No, she's got one gear, and it's two gears, on and off. That's Tammy. So Tammy's her roommate, and Tammy's a chef. And every week it's Pancake Day. I think Tuesday. Is it Tuesday or Saturday? One of the days is Pancake Day, and that's what's being interrupted there. And Summer kind of gets pulled into this arena area, and then shenanigans ensue. And of course, her response to it is, "I have to hurt things."
Nice.
And then some of the offers are out there. So I've obviously got the US price and the Aussie price in there to make it easier for people. The US price will fluctuate depending on what the dollar does, but that's a rough idea. And it's cheaper for you guys, much cheaper. So that's a good deal. And there's the upgrade options for people that are back the previous campaign, and then premium options for people that are coming to it new and want the whole suite. And as I said, yeah, it's pretty.
Come on.
Yeah,
it's
that's a lot of book for what you're paying there. So
yeah. And again, 40 pages minimum each. The first issue is, I think, 64 pages. So there's a lot of pages. Got some store specials there as well, for any stores that want to put the books in there.
And again, for you store listeners out there, I mean, there's an ability to do that printed in the U.S. too. So don't think don't sleep on that.
Yeah. Now, the drawn-in rolls. So I've recently dropped these considerably. So they include all the print premium rewards. So it's essentially a little bit more than print premium, but you get your face in the comic.
And who
so there's
doesn't
an
love
extra
that?
one. Yeah, it's great fun. So there's three there, which are kind of in the back crowd there. And then they appear, I think, once, and then there's some other options. You can appear in one of the monsters called Aurochs the Devourer, who gets sort of sliced up by Summer. So that's the first one. There's the Aurochs the Devourer, where you appear as one of three faces in there. So one of those is already
That's
gone.
hilarious.
And they get harsh treatment from Summer once that comes in. And again, this includes all of the premium rewards. So you get all the books as well, and all the digital rewards with it. And I think it's 4 pages that these appear on. So you'd be on 4 different pages. 5. There you go, 5 pages.
Nice.
And then she squishes you.
See, you too could have your own death scene in a comic.
You can die with friends if you really want to.
There you go.
And then the big one, the big kahuna, is the judge, which is there's only one of these. It's a speaking role. I've dropped the price on this one as well. So this is in 4 different pages. You're actually speaking and acting in a way in the series, talking to Summer directly and copping a bit of lip back from her. Yeah. So that's another cool option. Yeah.
We all know what happens when that happens. So
yeah.
Sadly, this one's gone.
This one is gone. Three very fortunate individuals will be co-writing spin-offs. Now it says 8 pages because that's essentially what the cost pays for the artwork, and but they're not going to be 8 pages. They'll be at least normal issue size, or potentially to the 40 pages or whatnot, because that I tend to like things to be a bit meatier and have a decent amount to them. So yeah, and I'm really, really looking forward to that, just to be working with other writers and creators. And frankly, it gets a bit exhausting coming up with ideas for this stuff sometimes.
I saw around Christmas time, I saw someone put a post out that showed up. It said the independent creators Christmas party, and it's one guy sitting at a table by himself, and it said the after party, and he's sitting on a park bench by himself, and just all these places. Of course, he's alone, and I was like, man, I never thought about it that way. But yeah, kind of isolation.
Like that. And particularly as a writer as well, it's a very solitary pursuit most of the time. So you do feel like you're sort of doing everything on your own. So when you can co-write with people and create together, such a good feeling. And it also then means there's more people owning it and sharing it and enjoying the process and everything, instead of just me in a dark room doing my stuff.
So that's you can work together with other people.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's half the fun. And that's part of the reason why I like a Kickstarter campaign, because you get to I don't get to interact with people that often in this sort of scenario, and meet people that are looking forward to reading it or have already read the first one and want to, really excited about the next ones coming in. It's great to just interact with people, have a bit of fun, do some giveaways, all that sort of stuff. And then to actually then create off the back of it with people is, amazing. Really looking forward to that one.
That sounds like the theme to a podcast we know. What is that podcast called, Kevin?
Oh God, I don't know. I hear it in my head. I think it's in there somewhere. It's maybe something, I don't know, comic roddery driven. And that's what that's what everything's about. I mean, that's why the name popped up like it did. It's just I think the literary term is a portmanteau, and you take 2 words and smash them together, right? And it's like smoke and fog is smog, and hotel and motor is motel. And that's where it came, the word camaraderie and, comic, and slapped them together, and comic roddery was born. So that's a lot of good fun. And that's why we do the show. We do the show to bring on creators, like Morgan, let them talk about their book. We love uplifting other artists. And then we have on the other people that come in through the show, what we call the Titans of Industry, that are kind of giving, nuggets of information for the people coming up in the business, right? They talk about, editing. They talk about the process itself, whether it be the writing process, or the art creation process, or the book assembly process. So yeah, it's a lot of good fun, man.
So that's the digital add-on, six comics you can get added on as well from a couple of previous series that are series. And
I got to read the Thug one, but I love Admiti. Admiti was another good book. That's another one that's I'm looking forward to the next issue coming out, and that one got a lot of good reviews too.
That and I last night, as I was not sleeping, I started writing a side issue for that project. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm starting to build out so that I'm going to run a campaign for that one a little later in the year, and that will probably be similar to this one. It will be more than just 2 books. It'll be a sort of package of books that people can get, which is again super exciting.
There's so much stuff here, man. It's such a, like you said, such a meaty offering of just pure comic fun.
Yeah, because I always get a bit disappointed if I back something and it looks great, but you get it and it's just like a 22 or 24 page issue, and then you got to wait, another 6 months or a year for it's just such a small. I prefer to get a a package that's got a bunch of decent books in
Oh
there.
yeah, this is like comic book Christmas when this thing gets here.
Yeah, that's right. So there's the 2 Virgin variants that are available as well. Shadow's Daughter soundtrack with some cool tunes for the kids.
There you go. Well, let's kind of hit on that for a second, because Morgan also not only established himself as a really good novelist, and he's also established himself as a musician as well. So these soundtracks are pretty cool that he does, and it's so talk about, I guess, how different is the process between the two, between creating the music side of things versus the creative side for the novel and comic thing? Do you find crossovers in that as a creative process? Or are they completely distinctively different for you? How do those two processes kind of maybe intertwine?
Good question.
Yeah, I think there is, for me, there's definitely a difference. So if I'm right, but there's also a difference between the novel side and the comic side as well.
True.
So if I'm writing novels, and it's great and it's immersive and it's fun, but it is a grind. The first half of writing a novel, I find, is creating problems, and then the second half is trying to solve the problems that you've created. And the twisting of the knots at the first bit, that the more twisted they are, the harder it is to untwist them by the end and give a satisfying, sort of ending for the reader and for yourself and the characters and everything else. So it's complex and it's difficult, and it's most of the time with music, because I've been doing it for so long, it's a lot easier, and it's more playing with different tones and textures and getting things together. So most of the time it's a lot easier because there's a lot of volume going on. So I'm putting out songs, all the time, either writing for film or TV, or just, with other producers or other sort of stuff. And it's just fun. And there's also that oral kind of thing where you hear, occasionally I'll put a song together and I'll hear it and I will be moved by the music, like not necessarily because I did it, but just because this thing now exists, and it moves you in a way because of everything that's going on. And that's such a great buzz and such a great feeling. That's not to say that it's always easy. There have been a few times where I've sweat blood over trying to get a job done, usually commercial jobs, where a lot is required and you need to do it a certain way, like something else or whatever. That is harder, and that's a lot more. And when you have to use instruments you're not familiar with or programs that can be very stressful and everything. But generally I don't do a lot of that. So it tends to be just immediate and quick. And frankly, I do it when I want to do it. So I do it when I'm in the mood. I don't. Whereas the writing, you have to discipline yourself, and you just do it every day. Even if you're not in the mood, you have to keep doing it. And then the comics is kind of this nice, happy medium, because I get the little bit of the grind of going through on my own, making the story, working out problems, solving problems, that same sort of thing, but in a miniature scale. But then you get the immediacy of when the art comes through, and you get to see the thing come to life and work with the artist. So it kind of blends both of those great elements, which is part of the reason why I like the medium so much, because you get to kind of do both. Yeah. So it's different for me, but I'll swap between one and the other depending on what mood I'm in, and try and get the best out of it.
Well, I wanted to bring that question up because it's a fun question, because I asked that question a couple episodes ago of my former art teacher from high school, and he was a musician and an artist as well. So he talked about the two different ones in the processes. So I just think that's a new fun question that I like to hear. What about as far as influences go? What is it? Do you have musical influences? Movie influences? Is there book, author influences? What kind of melds together to make everything? What's your world?
Yeah, so definitely film is a big influence. Film is probably more of an influence on my writing than reading, because I've read a lot and do like to read, but something about the visual aspect and angles and the music and acting and everything else together, and just the mood you can create instantly with a that sort of moving image is really appealing. hence, my recent premiere
Yes,
that
your
you've all seen now.
cinematic premiere that we had on the show earlier. Yes,
A cinematic triumph, some people are calling it. I
there you
heard
go.
someone was saying it. Yeah, so I really love that, and I love anything dark, anything strange, anything odd, and I can't remember. I'm going to forget a lot of these sort of things, movie references, but anything that's a little bit weird, a little bit strange. But honestly, I will watch everything. I'll watch the trashiest movie just to get one cool idea out of it. I'll watch every superhero flick that's ever done, even though I'm not big on the superhero genre myself. It's not my thing really, but I'll watch them all because there's some great stuff in there and some amazing little moments that you pick. And,
I think the movie thing hits on a lot because, cinematography is an art in and of itself, right? And people that do it well, like Quentin Tarantino, that revolutionize things by pulling out pieces and flipping them around to where you're off kilter. You'll catch the ending of the movie in the beginning, and then the middle is over here, and it throws you. I mean, that's why. I mean, I'm going to show real quick. I have to lean this way. The reason I have the shirt on that I have with the Nova on it is from Death Proof. Death Proof is what made me want to get and build a 70 Nova. So it's we both share that love of movies and that inspirational side. So it's definitely
and it just I find it so much easier when I'm writing a comic to think in terms of frames rather than a larger narrative. I'm thinking each page, what's happening, who's doing what to who, where's it all coming in, which is more visual and more cinematic. In terms of novels, though, there are a couple of big influences. One of the biggest is a writer named China Mieville, who wrote Perdido Street Station, Kraken, a whole bunch of other ones. His writing is very dense and very rich and full and a little bit tricky to get through, but the ideas are amazing. And it's broadly weird fiction, which is kind of Lovecrafty and, a little bit weird, a little bit monstery, that sort of thing. But just so well done. So his writing, I'll read a paragraph in that, and I will have a whole series of novels planned out based just on that little idea because it's so good, and it's just this little side thing that he just mentions once.
That's cool to be able to. Do you ever slip those in to your novels or your comics, like these little kind of Easter eggs of inspiration?
I do, and yeah, they find their way in as well without me realizing it sometimes. And then someone will say, "Oh, that kind of links to this other thing that you've done," and I'll think, yep, that I meant that. That's totally on purpose. That's very well read.
I completely planned that.
Yeah. So they all link together. Mainly they link together because I'm very uninventive with names. So I end up using the same names for a bunch of different things. And people say, "Are they the same people?" No.
Just
people in the real world can have the same name. Why not in the comics world?
Exactly. Well, go ahead now. So we're going to keep finishing scrolling out. So you get the goal 1 was blown out of the water. Goal 2 was blown out of the water. And so the next stretch goal was that 5,000?
Well, that was the 50 copies. So that's done.
Yep.
So we're actually up to there now. So
the 125 backer one.
That's the one we're up to. And that's the Wrath of Rudolph, which is my own crappy comic put together by me. It's fun and it's stupid. And I just thought it would be a nice little gift because no one has ever seen this thing in I've got a YouTube channel with a kind of very roughly animated version of it.
Okay.
But not a comic version. So this will be a first, and it may be a last. So it is definitely
it'll be a limited edition.
Yeah, it'll probably be limited because I'm not sure that anyone would want it. It's the thing that no one's asking for that I'm really pushing on people.
There you go.
Which is a great approach.
Nobody asked for Dogman, but we have Dogman now. So and Dogman is one of the biggest, not just YA, but one of the biggest targeted for toddler graphic novels, which is a first for the industry as a whole. Because of the artwork and the lack of detail in the character design and the page design as well. That's usually
dogs are hot right now, man. Stray dogs took off like a rocket train, and you'll hear about that. We're going to slip that that interview in sometime in the next week or two with Mr. Fleece. But I mean, yeah, dogs are selling right now. It's they're on top of their game. They're top of the food chain. Like I said, my dog tried to take me out the other day, so that's why I'm in the shape that I'm in. So I think they're making a play for the top, man.
What about roughly egg-shaped individuals with red noses? Are they doing well? Just out of interest,
I think Rudolph led the way with that, with the red nose. I think so.
Cool.
I think he opened the door for other red nose characters to make their plight into the industry.
Well,
I do believe Mr. Potato Head had a Rudolph costume at one point.
There you go. See.
So,
all right, I'm on the way. This could be big. The Wrath of Rudolph could be massive.
That's good.
And then obviously we're close to 125. Then I'll be announcing some new stretch goals. But what will they be? Who knows? They could be anything.
They could be anything. They could be anything out of Morgan's head could pop out, and there we go.
That's right. I was toying with the idea of producing a mini movie and getting people to record themselves doing some stuff. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I mean,
that could be fun. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
yeah. That would be
film chops too, man.
Yeah.
Nachos rain.
Yes.
As Nacho ascends to the top.
That would be fun. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll have to put the thinking cap on.
There you go. So the next part talks about how he did it, right, which is always fun to include in the Kickstarter because kind of show the process of how things come together, which I think is really important, especially for new people getting in the industry to see. So definitely look this Kickstarter up and go straight to that and check things out because that's the process itself.
Not all independent creators or creators in general ever show this much detail and behind the scenes. So this is just a special portion right here for people who want to create comics or want to even get into film. Because I mean, this is literally in film. You start with the script and then you storyboard it, and then that's how it makes it to the the on screen. And in comics, it's very much the same way. But not everybody storyboards in comics. It's always usually just script and then straight to reps with the artist. So this is really cool.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's been a slightly different process because most of the comics I've gone just from scripts to draft sketches and then on from there. This was the first experience of doing storyboarding as well, which is a lot more work, but it's also kind of good because you can give some direction and think about angles and all of that sort of stuff. The other thing is,
it gives a better end product. Yeah, to me, it gives a better end product because you are more leading the artist and what you would like to see as the creator rather than the artist leading you what their interpretation of the script is.
Yeah. It gives you, and it means you have to think more clearly when you're writing around where do I want everyone to be and what am I showing and what am I zooming in on and all of that sort of stuff. Rather than just saying to the artist, you do it all. It's kind of like I'll do half the work and then you do your bit and then we'll meet together. And the other thing is there's a behind the scenes PDF which goes through this in a little bit more detail. Some of the early sketches of characters that didn't make it, that sort of thing. That's available for all of the or most of the tiers, like the premium tier and all that sort of stuff. So that's an interesting one as well because it shows you, I think a version of Telos that just wasn't really what I envisaged and it didn't make it, and a few other things which is really cool. Some artwork that's never been seen as well. I think
people, even just people in general, just that love comics and movies, love the behind the scenes process. You'll catch any of us tuning in to the shows that actually give the how things were made. So
yeah, it's great. It's great fun. It's really good fun. That's me. Hey, and that's just my site, novels, comics, all that sort of stuff. Information there on all that sort of bizarre. And feel free, anyone watching, get in touch if you want to ask a question or get involved or anything like that. By all means, I'm happy to chat to people.
That'd be a cool show. Ask Morgan anything event.
Yes.
You may not like the response that you get though.
That's okay. Transparency is always valued. Well, at least in my opinion. I mean, because if somebody were to ask you a legitimate question about the industry and you were to crush your dreams right here, it's a lot better than them like writing a script or bringing their version of a comic or writing a film script and then having their dreams crushed by a producer.
Yeah.
Well,
or And so
Morgan and I had a very good talk a little while back about the crushing of dreams early on in someone's career to kind of shape them. That kind of brings up your tenacity, right? It kind of gives you the fuel to press on when those kind of things happen. So, because it's going to happen inevitably to somebody at some point in time. You're going to get your dreams handed back to you in a crushed, mangled mess, and then you got to sort through it and press on. So,
well, I mean, it's like the civilian realization of what the military does to their recruits. I mean, they break them down, they build them up from discipline and focus, and then they focus them on a specialized skill that all gets like thrown into a giant pot of just teamwork. Like one person does this, one person does that. But in order to do that, they have to break you down from the things that you've grown up knowing or not knowing, just so you can have those skills. And on a civilian standpoint in the industry, if you think you know it all, you really don't know it.
No,
like
I always
structure the way you think in terms of discipline, focus, and skill, and how to apply certain things.
Well, I think that's a thing that some creators slip into is they may get some early successes, and then once they do, then they know it all. And that's like you just said, that's not the way to go, because all of us learn something new all the time, every day. And the other side of the industry that I work on is in construction, right? So I always tell people when I run turnarounds, there's two things I want you to do, only two things I ask of you. One is to always make sure you remain safe, so you go home to your loved ones the way you came. And the second thing I ask of you is learn something, at least one thing new from the other 40 people in the room, and then you walk on to the next project with that much more knowledge. And I think the same thing applies here. As everybody starts to collaborate and bounce off of each other and vibe, I think if you can learn something from the person you're vibing with, it just makes your tool belt even that much better. So it all ties together.
Yeah, and then there's I think what we were talking about earlier. I think there's a definite advantage being a writer first before I came to comics, in that you just get any pride beaten out of you very quickly trying to get a literary agent, trying to get published, trying to get all that. So it's such a grind, and it you get knocked back very quickly and very often, and it teaches you that, hey, that's part of this whole thing. And if I want to do this, I need to learn how to deal with that, and that's good. And I can learn things, and sometimes I'll just learn how myself to deal with the rejection and how to pick myself up and move on and go to the next thing and all the rest of it. It's really, really good. But whereas, like you say, if you get success first up early, it can give you a false hope that, and also I think that we've got to stop promoting, not we, but, generally promoting the overnight success story, because that is not by and large the way things work. And it's selling this false realization that, or this false idea that, someone's going to pick it up and it's going to be on, Netflix or wherever, and it's going to be great and that's it, and fantastic. So it could happen, absolutely, but the odds are really against it. And if that doesn't happen, what's your plan? What are you going to do? Where are you going to head? How are you going to keep yourself motivated? And also, there's also this thing that I've been thinking about a lot lately, which is what's my picture of success look like now? And if in the future, if that includes something like we all want a Netflix series, we all want, film or whatever it might be, what does that even look like? Because that's not a guarantee of continued success. It's not a guarantee that, Hollywood's going to be picking up the phone or anything.
Right.
So you kind of got to build that, and it's one of those things, I don't think we talk enough about it. And so creators get into this and they're, it can kind of crush you a bit. So definitely there's something we need to talk more about. And 100% you can learn from everyone.
Oh yeah. And it's the kind of thing too, where when those kind of things get put in front of, like, so in other words, like you said, what good looks like, right? In your mind, what does good look like? Because it's kind of the mapping as we map out Kickstarters for people. I said, okay, you got to figure out what you want is what your realistic goal is here, and what in your mind. That way you can map your way over there, because you have to know where you're going to get there, right? You can't just kind of figure, it's not a Kickstarter, it's not a pachinko machine. You don't just drop a ball in from the top and tick, 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 boom, and it pops out the other end, and you're an instant success with, millions of dollars in the bank. It's a grind. It's a grind like a novel writing grind. I mean, you have to get out there and, you're pulling up to the electronic Comic-Con with your table amongst 4,000 other people hoping and dreaming to make it to the top. And then not only that, within Kickstarter, you're competing against sunglasses being invented, headphones and wristbands and tennis shoes and all these other things that people are coming up with. It's comics is its own vein within that, but again, you're competing on a global scale at that point. So that's the kind of mindset I think people need to have when they step into that ring. And sometimes I get through talking with people and their eyes are big and their blood's drained out of their face, and they're like, "I didn't know it was that involved." I was like,
"Oh. Yeah," and it's because some people will just have an idea and they'll think, "I just want to make a comic, just one. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. I just want to sell it to my friends," and that's great and that's amazing and definitely achievable. The difference is if you want to sort of make a career of it, or you want to, really, then there's a lot of harsh realities that sort of kick in, and you think. So the story I always tell is my first Kickstarter campaign, where I got the printing done in the US, sent to Australia, and then largely posted back to backers in the US, because I just didn't ask people. I didn't find people. I didn't, just made the mistakes without first going to people and say, "Hey, how do you actually do this thing? What's the way that..." I also printed them extra large, which now I think the backers would love, but it costs twice as much money. They were 11 by 14 inch comics and, thick paper and all that, which, great. But at the time, just a bit silly. But that's all right. We live and learn.
There you go. It's a learning experience. And there's nothing wrong with that if you use that and learn from it. It's the times when people make mistakes and they don't learn from it. It's that gets really, really harsh to take on.
Perfect. Well, of what not to do is quick story, Kev. I was a huge wrestling fan. So it's all I wanted to be when I grew up. Like throughout high school, I was looking at the Atlanta, Georgia wrestling school ran by Reggie, who you see in an old WWF. He got chokeslammed by The Undertaker. It was an ATL about 8 hours away from my house. I looked at it for years and years and years and years and years. Fell off the bandwagon, got back on for a while, and I ended up meeting Ric Flair at a Walmart. Here in D'Iberville, Mississippi, close to where I stay now. And he crushed my dreams, man. And for years, I thought he was the hugest asshole. Like his wheeling, dealing, limousine riding, 6-time world championship persona was an actual ego. And after years and years and years of thinking about it, I was like, he wasn't calling me out and crushing my dreams. He was calling me out and challenging my motivation and my willpower to go through and become what it takes to be a professional wrestler. And for those of you who've ever watched like Tough Enough or like the UFC show that they had, I mean, they put them through the ringer. And at the time, I was too sensitive and caught up in my own sensibilities to understand what he was doing. And so when I finished my master's degree, I told myself I would never make that same mistake. And so every time I've come up short, whether it be a writing project or not getting a bid for a job for an independent freelance gig, I don't let that stop me from doing what it is I'm trying to accomplish. And nobody else should do that either. And Morgan is a perfect example of that success. You're a perfect example of that success. And I'm finding my own voice and momentum and what it is to not let yourself be driven by the negative voice in the back of your mind that says you can't do this crap, because you almost certainly can. Even if someone crushes your dream, it's not because they do that intentionally to hurt you. They do it intentionally to tell you, if this is what you really want, go for it. But
that kind of goes back to that saying. What is that? Sometimes you never want to meet your heroes. Be careful of meeting your heroes. That kind of thing.
Right.
I've got some friends out in the security business, and they've told me horror stories about a couple of actors that I just went, "Wow, really? They're really a jerk." That's kind of sad. And then some you hear are awesome. Case in point, going and talking with Flash, that was a pivotal moment in my life, in my career, because he is. I mean, after watching the documentary Life After Flash and seeing how far he fell from where he was at in his career to what he's doing now, because he was brought back right through the movie Ted. So everybody knows Flash Gordon now, because it reinvented him, or re-injected him, I should say, back into pop culture society. And he appreciates that now. He's humbled by it, and he is Flash, basically. You meet him, he's super nice on or off camera. And I've heard this from other people. So I've not only met him, and known it, but have heard that again through others. So it's just people like that, him and Norman Reedus and some others that are just really genuine people. And Norman won my respect when he was nice to my son. And my son was 10 at the time. And at the time, that series Walking Dead was at the top of its game. I mean, 10 years ago, it was fresh, it was new, everybody's talking about it. We're in Atlanta where it's, right outside of where it's shot. My son goes to meet him, and he spent a lot of time just like we're talking, just chatting with my son. And I looked over my shoulder, and there's thousands of people behind us. I mean, it's incredible. And he's just talking to him. And that's it was a great moment for my son to meet his idol, his star. And, I got a lot of respect for him after that, and met him several times since. But it's that moment, of people, meeting one of your heroes, or your son meets his hero, and you see that interaction. Sometimes you can pull a positive out of that. But no, I definitely get what you're saying, though. Sometimes you meet him and you're like, "What in the world? What was that?"
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of it was good, but a lot of it was actual like him staying in character while also at the same time trying to do something.
I kind of found that with Ash from Evil Dead. He was, because that's such a quirky character, right? He stayed in character at the Comic-Con we met him at, and even the picture we took with him, he's kind of like on our shoulders, and he's kind of giving me a look. But that's just what you expect from his character, so he has to play that up.
Yeah.
Turtle, different character than Burn Notice, right? So he plays different roles, but I think that's what people expect out of him after a while.
Yeah.
To be that persona. But so to pick up Morgan's book, again, it's got 11 days left, so you don't want to miss it. Make sure you swing over to inkedpub.com, and you can go over there, click the button. You can jump right into that Kickstarter and jump on it. Or if you want to go to inked.pub/Shadow's Daughter, either way, it gets you there. Again, inkedpub.com is the fastest way, and that will get you right to the Kickstarter and show you many others as well. So any parting words for your listening and viewing audience there, sir?
Just get in touch, get involved. It's heaps of fun, lots of cool stuff. There's still some more stuff coming, and a couple of extra things that we might be giving away as well. So please get involved, share it with people, all that sort of stuff, or just get in touch with me and tell me how much you loved my film, because it was awesome. But no, thank you very much, and thanks guys for having me on again. Always a great pleasure to be here with you guys, chatting about this stuff.
We appreciate it, and you're welcome anytime, sir. So you have a rest of your good day over there and your Saturday, and we'll try to enjoy the rest of our Friday. So
cool. Thanks, guys.
Take care, man. Bye.
See ya.
Always fun having him on, man. Always a pleasure. Always upbeat. That's kind of like I was talking. Same kind of like I was talking to Scott the other day too. Remember we were talking to Scott, and I said every time you see Scott Zillner, he is this, and he is excited, and he's happy, and he's energetic, and that was good fun. We're gonna run through the previews real quick. I'm also going to. I did promise someone that I was going to do something, and I am going to do it, and I'm going to do an unboxing. So again, I will slide the mic out of the way real quick.
What you got?
And so this is from Brian Silverback.
Oh, wow.
And this is something new that he's doing. And I was fortunate enough to get one because it's very limited. Again, right off the bat, good packaging, good presentation. Let me unfold some of the heaps of wrapping paper that are on it. And this is one of the limited edition Loggerhead figures. So hand painted, 4D printed, hand painted, signed and numbered by Brian himself. And you don't just get that. That in and of itself was a treat to get. I was pretty psyched up and excited to see Loggerhead in actual form. Get some more paper out of the way. There's some awesome prints in here. Let me get these out of here. He's got right off the bat. This is my favorite of the set, though. I'm framing this one. This is and the light's killing it right now.
Oh, nice.
So that Iron Man print, and then he's got another version of it on the back.
Voltron.
So yeah, I like that yin and yang to it. Got some other stuff with that, and then so these prints are cool. These prints help, are part of the package.
That's amazing.
But that Iron Man was just, and
Amazing.
it came with a Loggerhead 1.
Oh, nice.
And Loggerhead's, something I've followed since the beginning. I followed him before this book even came out. And this is a book, by you in Louisiana and the whole thing. So that's a lot of good fun. That's a reminder of home, right? So that was a very cool, fun thing to get in the mail today. It came just minutes before the show. So I told Brian as a thank you and I would say back the backs, right? So in the way to back the backs, I wanted to show that on air. And then I've got to do something. I'm going to embarrass my wife, but I'm going to do it anyway. This is, what do you get a He-Man fanatic that has most everything that He-Man created? You get them a Castle Grayskull in the box.
Nice.
So this is the new repop. So this one, and they did some stuff with it, like they painted the thatch on it brown this time, but it has all the same kind of stuff in it that the original had. So that just came in as well. So again, thank you, honey, for an awesome birthday gift, and also want to thank the over 500 people that sent text and emails and IMs and posted on the page for my birthday. So again, thank you guys for that. Very heartfelt. I was extremely impressed that amount of people came out just to wish little old me happy birthday. So I'm hanging on to my last year of my 40s, clinging to it as hard as I can. So I'm going to try to enjoy it. And again, that's when I said this weekend, my pride and joy comes to the house with the Nova being here. That's hence the Nova shirt. That's that I'm sporting today. So let's run through some previews and some awesome books coming out there. This one is Amerikaiju, has 3 days left. That's the book that the 1 through 3 you can pick up if you back Morgan's campaign. You can also pick up all of the books by backing this campaign. And again, I always love showing off this piece right here, which, as Edgar always says, is as big as your head, and he's right. This kaiju figure, I mean, the detail in this thing is quite awesome. It articulates well. It's huge. When it came in the mail, I was completely shocked and surprised and delighted that it wasn't a smaller figure. That I was not expecting that size packaging, and it's cool 70s packaging. So you can definitely add that to your collection. So again, go check it out. Get you a figure. Get you a book. Again, 3 days left, so you don't want to sleep on that one. We just went through Shadow's Daughter, so you'll check that one out. This next one has, let's see, Cryptic Haze has 5 days left, and it got a Projects We Love, so definitely check that out. I talk to the artist all the time, really good guy, Sam, and I talk to Paul all the time, the creator. So good group there. We wish them all the success in these books, and they're doing just fine. And we want to talk about too, that just launched, is we want to announce breaking news that Woodstake just launched. So Woodstake is if a vampire descended on Woodstock, and what more fun can you have than a vampire biting somebody and then being hiked up on LSD, right? So that's quite the experience that you can find. And again, Woodstake is basically 3 days of peace, music, and blood. You don't want to check that out. And then coming up on the 8th is going to be Stanley, and it's going to be Stanley the Snowman and Operation Save the Holidays. And this is the number 2 book in this series, and can't wait for that one to hit the shelves. And we're going to run through a little bit of some of the previews, because the animations that go behind them are all leading to the road to 75. So the 75th Kickstarter is within our sights, and we're happy that so many people have come aboard. And we're going to go ahead and show off some of those now. We just showed Amerikaiju earlier, but we showed Shadow's Daughter earlier. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and show it again because it's just a fun clip. And next up is the clip for, let's see, we've got a quick little short from Amerikaiju.
Hi friends, this is Ike. You probably know me from Mr. Manny's class. This is my video presentation of Things That I Like by Ike. That rhymes. Some of you know I like to build and play on my free time. Whoa, wait here. Gotta go. Bye.
You can do it. Slide in. To the left, to the left. Make sure you don't fall. That's good.
Well, that was fun. Do you think I can still use this video?
Of course not, Ike. There were monsters in that video.
So that's a lot of fun with him having to defend the town of Precious against kaiju coming in. And here is the book that just launched, and it launched on the Zoot platform. So check out what's in store for you if you grab Woodstick.
I really love the smoky classic art feel that the pages capture.
It does. It reminds me of the covers back in the 60s and 70s of like Turok and stuff. They were all painted covers, and I love the fun there. Philippe did a wonderful job in the artwork in that book, and that was again our own Morgan Quaid with the licks on the guitar right there. So very Jimi Hendrix-esque, but that's Morgan playing. So I want to make sure we show that off. And then our last clip of the evening is going to be for Stanley and for Stanley Snowman. Stanley Snowman coming out. It is going to be lots of fun. It's a good kids book. Amerikaiju is a great kids book, and you want to go check this out. And it's just good fun. It's something you could sit down with and read to your kids, and they can read on their own stuff. It's a moving book. I really like it. So here, check this out. Here is what's coming up for you for Stanley the Snowman.
Operation Stanley was a success, or was it? After Jenny successfully brought Stanley to life to spend the holidays with her family, they decide to celebrate without him. What will Stanley do to keep their holiday traditions alive and stop the family from going to Florida? Find out in the second issue of Stanley the Snowman, Operation Save the Holidays.
So good fun there. So we are at the end of yet another episode. So make sure again you tune in because next week we are going to have the creator of Stanley the Snowman on, Mr. Austin Janowiski, and he's going to talk about how that book came about, what's going on with it, and a lot of good fun. Has had a really nice career in all kind of things, and we're going to sit down with him and kind of get to the meat and potatoes of Stanley and talk more what's going on. So be sure you tune to that next week, and we just have a jam up March coming for you, and very excited to be able to do that. And if you like this show and you want to hear more about us, make sure you go right here.
For more fun-filled episodes, come visit our website, www.comicrodery.com.